Hello everyone. A few days ago I watched a video of two people engaging in a F14 versus Su57 fight, and it was very entertaining, so I figured I'd do that against the AI. Unfortunately, it's been so long since I've fought in the F14 that I actually forgot how to even use the countermeasures button. So as you just saw, that Su57 took me out with the first missile. So he fired a missile, he took out one of my engines, and I now don't even have aiming capabilities, but I'm still flying. So for whatever reason, the AI just let me go. The Su57 just kept going, so I figured, well, I'm dead anyway, may as well give chase. So I'm gonna kind of speed through the chase here, just eventually I did get close to it. And decided to take a few shots and see what happens. So I got close and, you know, sort of shooting from the hip. I took a few shots and I managed to hurt him. So finally he figured out, hey, someone's shooting at me, and broke right, and then I hit him. And as you just saw, he literally disintegrated. I've never seen a plane just disappear like that in DCS. It was kind of funny, and part of the reason why I'm putting this embarrassing first fight is because it's a lesson. It's for all of us, DCS pilot. Don't assume that the enemy is down. Make sure he really is down, because otherwise he'll come around and he will hurt you. Here's round two. So this time I did remember how to fire off countermeasures. So I'm just gonna set up my plane, and then I'm gonna turn to the side, fly an offset to the bandit so that his missile, and I know he will fire one, sees my countermeasures. So we're closing. I'm looking for that missile shot so that I can start tossing out countermeasures and doing a barrel roll into the missile. Here comes the missile, and
11 o'clock.
The missile flies past me, so now the bandit has a chance to shoot a second missile, but he's too close, so he flies past me, and I initiate the turn to the right, which puts me in a one-circle fight. Not that there's a good way to fight an Su57. He outrates the F14 in a one-circle or two-circle in the vertical, just about any other fight, but one circle is particularly bad because with thrust vectoring, that Su57 can whip the nose around real quick. Fortunately, unlike a live person playing against you, the AI seem not to be using the thrust vectoring that's available on the Su57. So that kind of gives me some chances that I normally wouldn't get against the person. So it, from experience, it feels like, at least fighting against the AI, two-circle fight is the wiser choice. So while the initial turn was a one-circle fight, I quickly transitioned to a two-circle fight, and my goal here is just to stay as close as possible to the Su57, not to give him a chance to point his nose at me, because he's still got one missile and he's still got his guns. So I'm just trying to keep as short a distance as possible and trying to stay out of his nose, and looking for those opportunities that every now and then present themselves.
250.
So the AI likes to do these vertical scissor things. You know, if it goes up, comes down at an angle, and circles back around. So the F14 has enough power to kind of keep up with the Su57 to a point, but it doesn't really have the nose authority. So
380.
you know, here the bandit actually let him fly far enough away, so if he pulled a little harder, if he had used the thrust vectoring, he could have pointed his nose, but he didn't. So once again, I'm trying to stay close, and here I may actually have an opportunity. So I lock him up and fire off a missile, and what do you know, it's a hit. So my trusty Rio is rejoicing that the bandit is down, that Su57 is smoking like a
7
chimney. It's
o'clock.
blowing black smoke and white smoke and every other kind of
Missile
smoke.
launch.
So I'm
6
headed
o'clock.
home
Hot.
when all of a
Missile
sudden
launch. 1
I hear the
o'clock.
missile warning and I get hit. So once again, the lesson here is don't turn your back on an enemy. Do not assume that he's been destroyed until you actually see him hit the ground. This time it cost me and my Rio.
6 miles, 49,000.
Round number 3.
Missile launch, 12 o'clock.
Once again, merging with the Bandit, and here comes his missile.
4 miles, 4:30
and
now.
I'm trying
12 o'clock.
to survive that first missile. Sometimes he will fire off a second missile if he's still
12
far
o'clock.
enough away, but I guess not this time. So I lock him up just in time as he
40
flies past
now.
me.
6
And
o'clock. 4:50.
there he is in a
11
one-circle
o'clock.
turn.
We're at 380.
Now technically he's already got his nose on me,
340.
or almost.
6 o'clock.
So I would actually give this fight to him
Speed
right here
280.
because regardless of what happened, he may not have had
10
a missile
o'clock.
lock, but he could have taken me out with guns. If this was a human being, he would have taken out shots and probably hit me. So I would give this
12
third round to
low.
the Bandits. But for whatever reason, the Bandit didn't take that shot, so I'm still in the game.
7 o'clock
And
high.
I'm doing
320.
my best to just stay close to it and
250 knots.
not to give him a
11
chance to
o'clock.
raise his nose and point it at me.
220 knots.
So once again, we're sort of in this semi-vertical
12
looping
o'clock
thing,
low. There's 300.
semi-scissors, which the AI seems to like very
Speed
much.
360.
So here's
1
another
o'clock
opportunity, but almost, I could almost raise my nose, but didn't quite get there.
11
So
o'clock
here's
low.
another opportunity.
300.
He went down to the deck to pick up speed, and now he's flying right
350.
past me. So this
12
time
o'clock high.
I got some hits. And I learned my lesson from the previous 2 rounds. Don't let the enemy, don't assume the enemy is dead until you actually see him hit the ground. So I'm going to take a few more shots, make sure that the Bandit's really
Bandit
down.
is going down.
So you just saw the ejection.
Passing
So
260.
it's pretty safe to assume that he's dead now. So
Passing
even though round
240.
3, technically I took out the
4 o'clock
Su57, as I said in the
And
beginning,
that's
that
300.
first turn into one circle, that probably would have cost me
Let's
my
go,
life
330.
if he had taken that shot. So
6
I would actually
o'clock.
give that round to the Su57. Round 4.
Target.
The usual
5 miles.
opening. We're flying at each other. He's flying straight at me, as the
410.
AI usually
Speed
does.
410.
I'm flying at an offset, so he doesn't.
Missile launch.
so
12
he-
o'clock.
his
Hot.
missile sees
11
my
o'clock.
countermeasures. So I begin to
Speed
flare. I do a barrel roll into the missile, and then
4 o'clock high. He's
as the
coming
missile
left.
misses,
Okay, we're about 100 knots
I
above corner
initiate
speed.
a turn.
Passing 390. He's glued to our 6, man. Speed 310.
And I lost
Missile
sight,
launch. 3 o'clock.
and that cost me. The Bandit, I expected the Bandit to be up. He went down, he got behind me, fired off a missile, and that second missile hit me. Speaking of missiles, we're both armed with a pair of heat-seeking missiles. He carries the R73s, and I carry a pair of AIM-9Ms. And both of us carry flares to defend against those missiles. So in this next round, the usual merge. His first missile flies past
10
me,
o'clock. 2 miles.
and
320
I watch out for that second missile, which he sometimes fires when he's
12 o'clock.
I fired off a missile and I missed. So
7 o'clock.
I'm gonna quickly turn around. As usual, he's gone high, so I'm gonna
8
try
o'clock
to
high.
stay with him, but
4:30
I've
now.
wasted so much
Missile, 1
energy
o'clock.
defeating that first missile.
High.
I don't want to waste even
1
more
o'clock
climbing
high.
after him.
There's 460.
So I'm just gonna keep it
Missile miss.
more or
Missile
less
launch.
level.
1 o'clock high.
Here's his second
Speed
missile,
270.
which also
12 o'clock
misses.
high. 250
And now
knots.
he's down to guns. but that's still deadly
7 o'clock.
because
210.
he is very capable. I mean, the AI is a sniper, and given an opportunity, he will take you out. But this time, he made a mistake and he flew right in front of me, so
6 o'clock.
I hit him. And he now tries to disengage. He's trailing white smoke, so it's easy to find.
Right in front of
And
us.
he's disengaging while climbing at full burner. But of course he forgot that I still have my missiles. So there goes my AIM-9M, and it goes straight up his tailpipe.
Splash.
So a lesson to those who try to disengage at full burner: not a good idea if your opponent still has heat-seeking missiles. So that victory probably belonged to me. I didn't see any place where the guy pointed his nose at me. So I think this round will go for the F14. Round number 6. Starts off as usual. I'm flying at an angle to the bandit. He's flying right at me, and as soon as he's in range, he fires off his heat-seeking missile. I defend and watch out for that second shot, which doesn't come. The bandit flies past me, and this time I'm initiating a 2-circle fight. I saw him go to the left, so I 2-initiate the left turn. He dove for the deck, so that's actually fine by me because it gives me a chance to get some energy and to get close to him again.
290.
So he initiates his usual vertical rolling scissors, and I try to stay with him.
Passing 240. 2 o'clock low. Speed 310. 11 o'clock high.
Unfortunately for me,
250 knots. 9
the
o'clock
F14
low.
is a bit of a pig, and compared to the
10
Su57,
o'clock high.
which turns on a dime. So staying with the Su57 in rolling scissors or in any kind of maneuver really is hard work, and this fight is slowly descending toward the
11
deck.
o'clock low.
I'm trading altitude for energy, trying to stay close to it. Of
11
course, the
o'clock.
AI has no such problems. He goes straight up, and unlike the usual tactics that the AI does, where it goes literally vertical, this guy goes up, but he also stays more or less in the horizontal 2-circle fight,
That's
which is
230.
bad news for me because he's got infinite energy and mine is almost depleted. So as we head down to the deck, I'm running quickly out of options. I'm
2 o'clock high.
slow, and there's no altitude to trade anymore. So and he keeps pressing
9 o'clock high.
the eagle fight. So now he's almost got his nose on me. I'm
229.
gonna try to cut the circle here,
3 o'clock low.
and I know I'm really close to the water, so this is kind of dangerous.
1 o'clock high.
But I really don't have too many options left. So now he reverses his
Speed
turn,
170.
and
2 o'clock
I
low.
kind of have a chance to get behind him, but again, I'm too close to the water, so I had to pull out. And I momentarily
3 o'clock high.
lost sight of
Looks
the
like
bandit,
290.
but fortunately he's right up there, right above me. Managed to
Speed
climb him.
250.
He's turning.
12
I missed my
o'clock
shot. I had a good opportunity here to take him out,
There's
but I
190.
missed. So once again,
7
I kind of
o'clock low.
lost
We're at
sight,
220.
but I saw the flares. So I'm turning toward the flares in that general
Okay,
direction,
260.
just in
Missile
time to
launch.
see his
11 o'clock
missile
high. Pot.
coming at
1
me,
o'clock
and
high.
then
Yep, 220 now.
to make things worse, he makes a pass and takes a
1 o'clock high.
few,
We took some major
shots at
damage.
me with the cannon, and now I'm low, slow, and winded. So
6 o'clock.
I'm thinking about punching out at this point. The bandit still
8 o'clock. He's coming right,
circles
man.
way out there, but I think he's lost interest in me. So inexplicably,
11 o'clock.
the stupid AI does this circle, and he literally presents his tail to me. I guess
Come on,
it
light him up.
assumes that I'm dead, I'm
We're
out of the
damaged.
fight. But I mean, in a situation like this, how can you not take advantage? He literally flew into my guns. So another lesson where don't assume that the enemy is dead until you really make sure he's down, because I do have one engine on fire, but because of the sheer stupidity of the AI, you know, I'm still living and the AI is in the drink. So the question was, do I punch out or do I try to bring her in? So I figured I'd give it a shot. Unfortunately, I'm busted pretty badly, and one engine on fire, which I shut down, but I hadn't flown the F14 in a long time. I don't remember how to deploy any kind of firefighting tools it has. And worse, I forgot at the end the gear was down, wouldn't come down, so I forgot how to bring the gear. You just saw me try to deploy the hook by mistake, and then I finally remembered the emergency gear deployment. Now I'm too fast, way too fast, but I'm so desperate to get down to the ground because I'm not gonna get another shot. So this is the world's worst landing. Quite embarrassing actually, but
I think I just lost mine.
you know what they say, any landing you can walk away from. So with the world's worst landing completed, I'm still alive and I'm down and safe, and that fire is actually a really nice effect. Good job, Eagle Dynamics, beautiful. Anyway, so I survived this round, so I'm not sure who the victory goes to, but I guess I'm the one who survived, so victory to the F14.
He's on a nose spike, 12 o'clock.
And this is round number 7, the last round. Once again, head-on merge. I'm flying at an offset, waiting for that bandit to take that shot, that first missile. And here's the missile trailing white smoke.
We've got a bandit.
I'm defending,
4 miles. Okay,
pumping out flares and rolling. And as the missile flies past me,
12 o'clock.
I try to defend just in case he fires off a second missile. And here comes the bandit. And once again he goes to the left, and I try to get some energy and basically stay with him. So he flies past me over my head.
Alrighty, there's 310. 8 o'clock.
And we're in a 1-circle fight now. But I quickly try to transition to a 2-circle fight.
7 o'clock high. And that's 280.
So we're both turning left now.
Speed 250. 11 o'clock. 200.
As usual, he turns much tighter than me. So, you know, we're already pretty low down on the deck. So, when you're in the middle of a fight like this, at times it kind of gets desperate. I mean, you kind of do what you have to do, but you know, desperation starts to creep in the closer you get to the ground.
6 o'clock low.
And so, but you gotta keep going. I'll see there will be some opportunities. They do present themselves sometimes. So the bandit climbed up, and he's trying to point his nose at me again, but not quite there.
6 o'clock low. There's 190.
Again, if only the AI was using the thrust vector, he would have taken me out. He would have taken me out a long time ago. But the AI doesn't use a thrust vector, and it does give me opportunities. Like here's a good one. He went down real close down on the deck, and then climbed, lost energy, and gave me a chance to point my nose at him. And this time I did not miss my chance.
The bandit is going down.
And that's one Su57 down. So this was an honest victory, I think, for the F14. The bandit never really got a shot at me, never really pointed his nose at me, so I would give this to the F14 by a small margin.
And that's 250.
So the Su57 is down, and the pilot managed to eject, and there he is coming down in the parachute. Good for him. So overall, this was entertaining for me, at least. It's different dynamics flying against the AI. On the one hand, the AI flies very predictably and kind of stupidly, makes silly moves that human players would never do. But on the other hand, the fact that it has infinite energy and can turn much tighter than plane flown by a human opponent makes for a challenging fight in its own right. So strategies flying against the AI are different than strategies flying against a human, but the fight can be just as entertaining. And a good landing at the end of a good fight is sort of the reward for all your efforts. Makes the experience in DCS all that more rewarding. Anyway, that's it from me. Hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next video.